All right, so here we are again with another catch up. These are sort of the things that keep me going every month. I get to talk to at least one or two of our VAs on a monthly basis, and I'm really excited because today I have Des, and Des has been with us for 4 years. Cannot believe it. Welcome, Des. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like I just, I think back to the last time, we sort of got to chat, and I guess all the things that have happened in between, it's just gone so fast, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
time flies, especially if you're like really enjoying what you do.
Yeah.
And even when the week starts and then it turns to Wednesday, it just took off.
Mm.
Everything is so it's Friday already, and it the day itself flies. The
Yeah.
hours and everything. So
Yeah. And I find as I get older, the time goes faster.
yeah.
Every year that I get older, I feel the time goes faster, the days go faster, the weeks go faster. And, you just kind of sit there and go, okay, what just happened? It's been another year already and my kids are already a year older.
Yeah, I guess
Time
that
to slow
sort
down.
of tells us that somebody told me before that if you love what you're doing, you can't really check on the time. It
Yeah.
time flies. But then if you're like working in, an environment that you don't love, it drags up. It drags the morning. It drags to wake up in the morning in the first place.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So
So tell us a little bit about, so everyone that's watching this wants to know a little bit more about you. So tell us who you are, where do you live, what's your family like, who's in your family? Tell us who you are.
well, I'm quite excited to share some member of the family actually. Well, I live in Davao City in the Philippines, and Davao is kind of in the hot seat right now because our president came from our city.
That's right.
So they tend to every eyes tend to look in our place and criticize some sort of like that. So
Mhm.
anyway, aside from that, it is a really peaceful place, and um, quite nice. The weather as expected all throughout the Philippines, it's hot or rainy. So
Yep.
it's the same, unlike in Australia that you have sort of different weathers in
Hmm.
different places. So in the Philippines, it's just hot or rainy.
Yeah.
So that's basically. But here in Davao, it's unlike in other places, quite developed, but yet still slow pace, which I love because
Yeah.
everybody doesn't like the traffic, but traffic is manageable, and it's part of progress and everything.
Yeah.
So every morning, I see, I'm getting older. I'll be turning 40 at the end of the year.
That's
And
not old. It's older. It's not old.
yeah. Okay, so another year I'll be turning the fours. So I have to be aware health wise and
Yeah.
everything. So I'm really grateful that being a virtual assistant gave me that chance to exercise, because I've been in a corporate world for like 7 years, and I don't have the chance to work out because I'm dead tired every time I get home.
Yeah.
I have to wake up early in the morning. So that, working as a VA really gave me that chance to focus on myself. And actually, that kind of, my husband and I decided that I have one daughter actually. I have one daughter. She's Andrea.
Yeah.
She's 17 years old, and
16?
17.
Oh, 17. Wow.
Yeah. And they tend to, we want to focus more time with her because teenagers tend, we don't know what's happening nowadays. So it's best that we
Mm.
focus on her because we only have her. And then my husband asked me eventually if I have a job that doesn't demand too much of my time.
Yeah.
So my friend Vivian actually introduced me and referred me here. So the rest is history. I stayed with the company for 4 years already,
Yeah.
and the usual stuff that I do every morning is do yoga, come back home and just, do everything that's necessary for the client. And we have a new member of the family. He's our baby now. He's a beagle. His
Oh,
name's
cute.
yeah. He's just turned 3 months. He's still 3 months, basically a baby. And I'm not really a dog lover, Kristy. I don't like dogs and
He's so
everything.
cute though. I see the photos on Facebook.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
gorgeous.
But then I didn't know that he'll be giving quite a lot
Yeah.
in our
It's like
family.
having another baby, right?
Yeah, basically, because what pushed us to get, him was my daughter just was feeling lonely for the past week, and
Mm,
she literally broke down when we were having dinner. She just cried, and that alarmed us, and asked her what's wrong, because we thought we're close, like every day we're together, every weekend we spend time with her. But then I guess she's still lonely all by herself.
yeah.
So I asked her if she wants a dog, because basically that's the first thing you think of. It's not
Yeah.
like I have her go to a doctor or anything like that.
Mm,
So I asked her if she'd like a dog, because that's the most immediate solution that we can think of. It's not like I can get pregnant and give her another sister or whatever.
mm,
So we got Brody, and he's been with us for a month. And basically, the family changed 360 degrees.
yeah. Yeah.
Usually the setup was like I'm in the office, my husband in and watching TV, my daughter's in her room.
Yeah.
That's the usual stuff. But then we have Brody, and you know, he bonded us together
Yeah.
because we have to
Yeah.
take care of him, get his poop and everything like
That's
that.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
so
because I have a 4-month-old puppy.
yeah,
For the
but
same
then
reason. Mm.
it's tiring. But at the end of the day, it's
Mm.
something that I told her that I'm grateful for her. For
Yeah.
in some ways she needed help, but then at the back of it, the family needed help basically because
Yeah.
we were drifting apart despite us, just the three of us.
That's
So I
it.
thank her for that as well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I've been through exactly the same in the last 2 months with our new puppy and using that as a bit of glue to bring the family. Because
Yeah,
my daughter is 14, nearly 15, and my son is 12.
she's
He's
gorgeous,
much
Kristy.
better. Yeah, well, he's much better because he does sit with us and engage with us, whereas she's in her room most of the time.
Yeah,
So I get that, and the dog definitely is something that brings us together and makes us talk more, and lets us go out for walks together. So it's very healthy.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm quite grateful for that as well.
Yeah, good. So what was it that I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. What was it that actually made you decide that working from home was going to be right for you? Because Vivian
Yeah.
introduced you, obviously, but did you go straight from working in corporate to
Yeah.
working from home as a VA straight away? What were you doing in corporate?
Actually, I've been working in a corporate work for 7 years,
Mm,
and it just burned you out
yeah,
physically, mentally. And I was dragging myself every morning to go to work. I'm not being productive anymore. I felt guilty because I'm receiving this salary, but I'm not giving
mm,
the work that I deserve. But I thought to myself, and I asked my husband about it. We discussed that I'm not happy anymore, and it's not, you know, financial wise, it's not that big of a salary. So a friend introduced me to try being a VA because she's been longer than me before. So immediately I resigned and I applied and I
mm,
got it. So it's basically a work in progress because
mm,
virtual elves has really been quite helpful because we have this chat, right,
yeah,
that we can share everything, we can ask help and everything. So um basically they're my sisters in giving us advices, touch some points, just basically girl stuff because we're
yeah,
basically girls in there.
yeah,
So the girls has been quite helpful. and giving me ideas how to start, how to deal with the clients and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's good,
I
isn't
just
it? So that's
designed
probably
it.
the one big thing, isn't it? The one big
Yeah,
thing that you need as a virtual assistant, going out on your own and trying something new and different. If you had to do that without that support or without a
yeah.
network of people around you, it would be super hard, right?
Yep. Yep, exactly. Because it's, you have these YouTubes, you have these tutorials, but it's different if you can discuss it with someone and try the stuff with them.
Mm.
So that's really quite helpful. And, Honey has been really
Yeah.
quite helpful and everything. Up until now, I'm, chatting with her despite her having to rest and all. So she's been really great to me.
Yeah, and I mean the beauty is that you find out that there are girls actually very close to you in the same city, and Honey's
Yeah,
one of those,
exactly.
right, in the same city, which I really
Yeah.
love. And yeah, so what are some of the things that you're doing currently as a work from home virtual assistant? What are some of the skills that you've learned that you're using with clients now?
Oh, okay. Aside from the usual stuff, the social media, which is, everybody can do. I love that the clients that I've been getting is really quite understanding and helpful. They have these trainings, tools that they have to introduce, but then they provide videos that I can learn.
Yeah.
So we have that. And I'm not really artistic, Kristy, but then it it developed my artistic side in some ways. And Honey has
Yeah.
been quite a help with that because I asked her for some advice if I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I love doing. All the general stuff, the social media and the administration,
Mm.
as well as doing engagement for the clients is something that I love also.
Yeah, great. So what do you think working from home has allowed you to do? What when you think about the ideal situation of working, I mean, one of the things that comes to mind for me is flexibility, right? What are some of the other things that it's enabled you?
Well, the flexibility is great because some clients like demand the time that you have to be in and
Mm,
report. Uh, but one thing that being working at home gave me was the time with the family. Basically, it's the first.
yeah.
It what pushed me to do this in the first place.
Mm,
And having the time with the family is something that money can't buy basically.
yeah.
So I have the chance to do the stuff and learn also, because one thing that working in a corporate world, you can't have the time to develop yourself further, because having the flexibility as a virtual assistant gave you lots of options, gave you lots of chances to develop yourself better. So
Mm,
I can attend some um, conferences or trainings in our
yeah.
city that can further develop myself.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. And I think, I mean, that's why I run this business, to give me the same benefits. I could very easily go and work in a corporate environment and probably bring in double what, I'm earning running this business. This business is not, we talk about things being money earners as being cash cows, right?
Yeah,
And this isn't a cash cow for me. This business gives me just enough to live comfortably. But for me, again, it's spending time with my family.
yeah,
It's the fact that I have never had to miss anything that my kids have done. I've
yeah,
never had to miss their sports, and I've got a very sporty son. So sports carnivals, swimming carnivals, everything, presentations, assemblies, you name it. And for me, that is priceless. That is something that money can't buy. And I don't know about you, but in Australia, it can be flexible, but a lot of the time it's quite upsetting to constantly keep asking for time off of your employer,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So I like the fact that if I don't want to work today, I don't have to work today. If, if there's clients that need something, then I have no problem saying to them, do you know what? I'm not working today. I'll have
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. It's that flexibility, but it's also just that allowing you to have that space and that time and you design it, right? You can design
Yeah. Yeah.
however
Exactly.
you want
It's
it to
that you
be.
get the chance to choose the clients, choose the time. It's compared to like working in a corporate, you basically have no right to say no, because
Mm.
it's different in our country, Kristy. We earn much better being online
Yeah.
rather than me working before in a corporate world.
Mm.
And I tend to work there 6 days a week, and I was a account executive, so basically the operation stuff. And
Mm.
the client has to reach me 24/7 anytime. They got to call me even on Sundays, and I felt so drained.
Yeah.
And financially, it's not paying me with the emotional. Financially, it's not that big of a salary,
Mm.
and it's taking too much from me already.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? So what if there was somebody out there, let's just say, for example, Vivian introduced you to this. If you were to introduce somebody who was in corporate who'd never worked as a virtual assistant working from home before, what 3 pieces of advice do you think are going to be really
Well,
important for them to know?
actually, the funny thing is, I've been, every time I go to our office every now and then, and they saw I'm not sure if I'm that. I was really stressed out because they keep complimenting me that I look better now from
Yeah.
before. So yeah, I have that glow and everything. So what did I look like before? Am I too
Yeah.
haggard?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the pictures and everything. It my face really changed
Yeah.
unlike before.
Yeah.
So um I kept introducing them in this virtual world,
Mm.
and they they are very interested to start, and some of them resigned already, and
Mm.
they would like to try, but they kind of felt intimidated in all this because it's basically different from what we're used to before. So I usually tell them to have confidence.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like it's I told them that it's much easier rather than going to an office, apply there personally.
Yeah.
It's much easier to talk with a client like this, and you're much more confident when you're at home and everything.
Mm.
So I told them that you have to be confident in the first place, and in work you have to be dedicated and committed to
Yeah.
do stuff. You have to be committed to learn. You have to be dedicated and willing to help the client, basically, because that's what we do, and that's the purpose of being a virtual assistant, is to make the client's life easier.
Mm. Good
Yeah, and
advice.
you're the perfect example that every time I saw your pictures going to the sports event, I can't help but smile that in some ways that you have us that can, run the business for you, make it much easier for you to have some time with your family as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think, yeah, absolutely. And I think most, if I hope that I'm a bit of a poster child for a lot of our clients in how they can actually run a
Yeah.
business very lean, without having to spend a lot of money, but also giving the opportunity to other people like yourself to actually live the life that they're hoping to live,
Yeah.
and I think that's what attracts a lot of people and a lot of clients to Virtual Elves, because our values are very simple. Our values are very much around family first.
Mm-hmm.
From and I've been very, very strongly committed to that, because I could very easily get somebody into the business to drive masses amount of sales, and to push, numbers and to push volume through the business. But I just feel we would lose our identity if we did that. I love the fact that I get 3 or 4 phone calls a week from people who have found us on Google and say, you know what, I've looked at 20 other companies and yours is the one that talked to me the most, because you look like you care. You look like you've got people who have been working with you for years. I mean, even yesterday I had a potential client ring me, and she said, Kristy, I have very strong values. I only hire women. She said, that's just one thing that I do. I only hire women. I'm all about equality. I'm all about fairness, and I'm all about long-term relationships. She said, I'm not interested if your VAs have a high turnaround. What is your turnover? And it was a very, very strong question from her to say, what is your VA turnover? If you say you've got 20 VAs, well, how long have you had them for? And I said, well, actually, the majority of my VAs have been with us for more than 2 years, most of them for 4 years, and I can say that very comfortably. So, and that's not always the case with these agencies who are running volume. They have a very high turnover of staff. I'm not interested in that. You've come to me because you want to be looked after, and we want to make sure that happens, right?
Yeah. And I love the clients that you bring to Virtual Elves also. Because I've been receiving so far, they're not just clients, they're more like a friend. And I had some family issues lately, and they were very understanding that I had to, lay low for a while and focus on the family. And they were very supportive. And they, it's not like client and employee thing. We're actually friends on Facebook and message each other. So that's one thing that I really appreciate with Virtual Elves, because it gave us, a friend also, as well as a client.
It's taken us a little bit of time to get there, and I think the last 2 or 3 years, I've been very, very confident in who suits our VAs best. And I think it's almost that I've qualified people before they even come and talk to me, just by what we put on our website, or by the fact that we're not out advertising. I really, you do the social media for me. The social media is very much, it's not selling, it's very much giving. So, if we focus on giving, then the people, and we get a lot of referrals. And I think that's really important, because the people that are referring us are people who are already, sharing the same values. So the people that they send to us are very similar. So, I'm very focused on that. And it's, I feel that if you have a values match, it's like matchmaking, right? It's the same. And I kind of, a lot of the time, I consider Virtual Elves as a bit of a matchmaking business, because if we know that both of those share similar values, are looking for the same outcome, all of those things, then it's going to work. If they've both got different things, then it's not going to work, right? So I ask the question to my clients. The first question I always ask them is, what is your take, and how do you perceive VAs in the Philippines? Because I want to understand, do they see them as equal? Do they see them as valuable? Do they see them, the minute I get and it's usually the males that don't, and the males basically will say, well, no, I just see them as someone that can do my, shit work for me. Well, that's not what I'm looking for. So it's good. So, what are some of the things, what are your passions? What are some of the things that you do in your off time? Tell us more about your special skills that we don't know about.
Well, I don't. Usually it's the morning routine would be the yoga. I've started I started a year ago, but I'm doing it at home. I currently enrolled in a class. I've been there for 4 months, and that gave me also the chance to learn to drive. Yay! I finally made it because
Hey.
I have to go to class.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
I just got
big.
my license this year. So that's, and I'm turning 40. I have to learn to drive.
Okay, good.
So I'm driving now. I'm doing yoga, but then, I got sprained and everything, but really a big accomplishment for me doing this new stuff.
Yeah. For
And
yourself.
yeah, it's basically loving myself now.
Mm.
Because I've been, when my daughter was small, you have to focus
Everything.
on her. But then being a VA gave me that time to focus on her and focus on myself actually.
Mm. Mm.
Because I've been neglecting myself for quite some time already, and it's a big compliment every time I see a friend and they tell you that you're glowing and everything. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah,
It's
that's very good.
you're getting older, but then you're getting, I think it's because the happiness shows or it shines out of you in some
Mm.
ways because you're
Oh,
not
I
getting sick
completely agree
anymore.
with that. Mm.
Yeah.
I look,
So
I'm 10 years older than you, so I'm starting to think about turning 50, which is quite scary, I must say. And yeah, like there's a lot of health issues that start to happen. There's, things because you're not looking after yourself. I mean, I'm running lots of different things and probably not looking after myself the way that I should. And so it's a big lesson once you start to, hit towards 50 and things don't start to feel as good as they used to. And you realize that you've got to just stop and start taking care of yourself
yeah,
because you get old, your body gets old very quickly.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's not like I'm living a healthy diet. I tend to eat a lot and those sweets and everything. I just can't say
Desi
no.
mud cakes. Yeah.
Yeah. So so basically I have to do something about it. If I can stop, if I can't give up the sweets, I have to do some healthy stuff just to
Yeah.
balance things out. And doing the yoga gave me that, seeing that my yoga mates, they were like in their 50s, Kristy. The oldest that we have there is like 56 years old.
Mm,
And she can do lots of stuff, and that really pushed me to wake up in the morning and go to class because I want to do that before I turn 50.
yeah.
So that's, it's about having the time to focus on myself and give me the chance to learn new stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think you've just planted a seed in my little head to say that I need to get to go and start doing Pilates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I mean, because my hips are starting to really hurt. So
Actually,
I need
the
to,
one thing that the doctor really recommends, because my daughter has scoliosis, so
yeah.
he advised her to do the usual PT stuff. But then I thought of, why not do yoga, and he recommended it as well.
Yeah.
The older the patient gets, he would like them to try yoga or Pilates.
Exactly. Yeah, cool. So what are your hopes for the future? What are the things that you want for your future?
Well, when I got that question, actually, I thought I can basically grow old doing this.
Mm, yeah.
Because it's not like I just one I just have one daughter, and she's gonna turn 18 soon. She'll be in college, and being a VA gave me that chance to be financially stable in some ways because you
Mm,
only have one daughter and you can live by the means.
yeah.
And I love doing this at home. It gave me the chance because I saw the changes that it gave me, and why change it to be like before. I'm
Yeah.
quite contented, and I have friends that quite older than me, in their
Mhm.
50s, but still a VA
Yeah.
because they start doing that when they have the time off because all their kids were working already and they're all by themselves.
Yeah.
So I guess it's something that I can grow old into.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. I think that's fantastic. And what about what about things that you think you'd like to treat yourself to in the next 5 years? What are some things, some goals or some things that you'd like to do?
Travels. Because we've
Mm.
started like doing that 2 years ago, my daughter and I. My husband, we're still convincing my husband to come with us, but
He doesn't want
that's
to.
what. And I guess now that we have the dog, I think we won't be leaving him here because
Mm-hmm.
he's attached to him. So my daughter and I talked about having to travel every year. And yeah, again, being a VA gave me that chance because it's not like I can leave work for that long
Yeah.
before. The
Yeah,
longest,
lovely.
like, take the time off was 3 days.
Mm.
So
So
here,
travel within the Philippines?
no, outside.
Where do you
And the
like, where are
Philippines
you
also,
looking to go?
Kristy, because, it traveling outside the country, we've been like to Asia. We've been
Yeah.
in Asia. But then we didn't really have the chance to travel inside the Philippines, and we're basically like tourists inside our own country.
Yeah.
So we're looking into traveling more here
Mm.
before, but next year she's gonna turn 18, so I guess she'll be asking for a travel.
Yeah. Yeah. And will she go to university? Will she go to college or university in the Philippines?
Yeah. She'll be taking pharmacy, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's for now.
Yeah.
And then, she's looking forward. I've been asking her that basically maybe most of the parents here in the Philippines would like their child to work abroad
Yeah.
because, it's not like they're compensated here financially.
Mm.
So she's looking forward in, getting out of the Philippines and working outside.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's great. That's a good goal to have, when they're young. It's good for them to think about that. Yeah. So, in signing off today, what is it so you've been with us for 4 years now. What
Yeah.
is it that you love the most about working with virtual elves?
Well, virtual elves, aside from the flexibility, the quality of clients that I've mentioned before,
Mm.
because I haven't had a client that was toxic.
Mm.
They were quite clear in what they do, and I understand the fact that you have to like, before we were accepted in virtual elves, you were interviewed and everything. So I guess all the elves that you have that quality that you're looking for. So the clients that you've been giving us have that same quality, and they all of them were very understanding and a friend rather than an employer thing.
Mm.
That's one thing that differentiates virtual elves aside from the rest. Because I had some before, but the turnover. You're right, the turnover was very, very fast.
Mm.
So, and the chats with the girls, and the fact that, having someone that within the city here gave me that chance to um, learn and bond with them also.
Mm.
And having you as a boss actually is quite a feat because, it's different if you have a very strict boss, and the way that you talk to us is not like you're giving us orders. It's like you're asking us in a very nice way. You know, um, it's different if you treat us an equal rather than giving orders. So that's basically you know, um, convinces me to stay with virtual elves because
Yeah.
really have no problem.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
It's good to know I'm not a dinosaur boss. No, but I think that also comes with, we have trust in your ability, to perform the tasks that we've asked. And so, I've always believed that if you lead with empowerment then you get a better result. And obviously you've got to direct and brief the person the right way from the beginning so that they've got the right tools to be able to achieve that. But I'm not a micromanager. I don't like micromanaging. I like telling somebody, you know, and guiding them on what they need to do first, and then empowering them to take that on and do what they need with it. And you're a prime example of that, because you've done that with the social media. You know, I very rarely need to look at anything anymore. And I think, you know, if you can empower people to really take it on as their own and perform well, then that's what they do. And I find that that's what most of our virtual assistants with virtual elves are doing, because we're empowering them to actually take that on board. And I almost feel like all of our VAs, we're empowering you to actually run this as your own little business, right?
Yeah.
And we're giving you the support, we're giving you some tools, we're giving you the way that you can achieve that, and the clients to actually help you do that. So it's a safe environment to test and to grow and to, you know, build your own little business. So yeah, it's exciting for me to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So we come to the end. 4 years, amazing, congratulations. And more than anything, thank you for, you know, your dedication over the last 4 years. And, you know, I hope that we get to keep talking every year for the next however many years, you know. It's really, you know, it's really lovely to have you as part of the family. And, you know, I'm hoping that next year I'll actually get to come and visit again. I'd like to do that. It's been 4 years since I was last there, you know, it's a long time. So if I can do that next year, that would be amazing, and get to see you all again.
Yeah, that would be great, Kristy.
Yeah, but thank you so much again, and we'll finish up, but I hope that you've enjoyed the last 4 years. But thank you for sharing with us, and I hope that other VAs and other, you know, hopeful VAs will listen to this and see what a success that it can be.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for being a great boss.
Oh, you're welcome. You're very welcome.